What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today we are looking at the Spring 2022 collection from OPI, which is actually in collaboration with Xbox. So we've got 12 brand new polishes in a variety of different finishes, and they're all in this rainbow pastel-y color scheme. So just to take a step back, if you haven't heard of OPI before, they're a very popular mainstream salon nail polish brand, and they are 3-free, meaning they are free of 3 of the potentially harmful ingredients that are often found in nail polish, and that is toluene, formaldehyde, and DPB. So like I said, we've got a bunch of polishes to go over today, so we may as well just jump right into it. And then after the swatches, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about pricing and availability and all that good stuff. So roll the footage. As usual, I am using a base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today I am using the Cuccio base coat, so I will link it down below. So we'll start off with this first shade, which is called Heart and Console. And this is a really vibrant red jelly base that has a really intense golden flaky shimmer running throughout. And the really cool thing about this is that golden shimmer, as it goes deeper down into the jelly, it actually looks like a really vibrant pink. I feel like my camera does not do this justice. It almost looks a little silvery, but it really has this beautiful, intense golden hue to it. And then it also has this pinky shimmery kind of vibe to it. Super gorgeous, perfectly opaque in 2 coats, and it's really smooth and self-leveling, no brush strokiness at all. Next up we have the shade Pixel Dust. I was so excited when I saw this shade just because it is so intensely sparkly. So this one is another jelly base. It's actually this really soft but still pretty saturated pink base that has a very intense metallic silver flaky running throughout. And these are like bigger flakies. You can really see that irregular shape in there, and it just looks so reflective and sparkly. I actually thought at first glance that this was one of those flash reactive polishes, but it is not. It's just super reflective. So I loved the coverage of this one in 2 coats. Moving on, we have a few cream finishes to go over. This shade is called Racing for Pinks, and as you could probably guess from the name, it is a soft pastel pink cream shade. So even in the first coat, I got really impressive coverage. It wasn't fully opaque there, but it did give me full coverage in that second coat. I noticed that it does dry down slightly darker than it looks when I am applying it, but overall a really gorgeous classic color. Nothing particularly new, but it's still a really great staple shade to have, and I feel like it also makes me look a little tan, but it has a little bit of warmth to it, so it doesn't look exactly like Pepto-Bismol. Next up we have the shade Susie Is My Avatar, and it's a really pretty salmon pink cream shade. It actually has a little bit of a jelly-like consistency to it. You could see it was a little bit more sheer in that first coat and super glossy, very shiny color. And again, kind of dried down to a slightly deeper finish than it looked as I was applying it, but still a super gorgeous, vibrant color. I was actually a little worried that it wasn't going to give me full coverage in 2 coats, but it ended up giving me that perfect coverage. Of course, with these lighter cream shades, if you have long nails, you might need a third. Next up, we have the shade Trading Paint, and this one is a light orange cream shade, and I really like this color. I feel like I've been very much enjoying oranges lately, but I have so many that are that autumnal kind of pumpkin spice color, and this feels more like an orange sherbet color, you know what I mean? It just feels very light and springy slash summery, but it's not so vibrant that it's like traffic cone orange. So I think it's just a perfect orange color, especially if you're a person who tends to go for the reds and pinks. I think this is a great color to transition towards the more wild nail colors. So here it is in 2 coats, gave me perfect coverage. Next up we have another shade that I was really excited about. This one is called The Pass Is Always Greener, and I actually have a little bit of a hard time identifying what this color is. It's a very soft, light color, and I feel like it sits somewhere between being yellow and being green. In some lights, it looks like a soft pastel yellow color, but in other lights, it looks like it's this really soft, almost lime green kind of highlighter shade. So very interesting color and really impressive formula. Yellow polishes in general tend to be super sheer on me, but I feel like I got really great coverage in 2 coats. So that's what I'm showing you right here, but I know that a lot lot of people, myself included, generally like to have 3 coats on for a yellow nail polish. So I put on a 3rd coat just to see what that looked like. Honestly, it's pretty much indistinguishable in real life, so I think I'm just gonna wear this one as a 2-coater, but overall just very impressive opacity here. Moving on, we have the shade Quest for Quartz, and this one is a really interesting pinky toned beigey taupe kind of color, and it also has a silver fleck shimmer running throughout. So I'm really enjoying this collection because I really appreciate that instead of just the regular super fine shimmer, OPI is kind of experimenting with these flakies, and I really love the way that they look. There's something a little bit more elegant about them than regular shimmer, so I just thought that was really cool. Here it is in 2 coats, very impressive opacity again, just fully covered my visible nail line even though it's a super light color. Next up we have the shade Sage Simulation, and this one is a little contrary to its name. I wouldn't describe this as a sage color. I feel like this is a very soft, slightly dusty pastel blue color, but it does have this really intense greenish shimmer running throughout, which I think makes it pretty interesting and different. I feel like without that shimmer, this might feel a little bit more of a wintry color, but that greenish color in there really makes it feel very springy and bright. So it's an interesting one. It's got that shimmer, which makes it a tiny bit brush strokey, but it's really not noticeable as long as you're fairly neat with that 2nd coat, and it does dry down to a slightly satiny finish. Next up we have the shade Can't Control Me, and I have to say I really enjoy the names of this collection, but out of all of them, this one to me is the absolute best. I just think it's really cute, and the color itself is very cute too. It's a very soft sort of robin egg. Is robin egg a thing? I don't know. Robin's egg blue? It's almost a periwinkle. I feel like it looks a little bit more blue on camera than it does in real life. It definitely has a tiny bit of a hint of purple in there in reality, but it also has a very, very slight silver shimmer in there. It's not enough to be like in your face, but it's just enough to make it look like it's not exactly a cream finish. So here it is in 2 coats, really nice opacity there. Next up we have the shade You Had Me at Halo. And this one is another really pretty bluish purpley kind of shade. I think it kind of sits in that periwinkle color scheme again, but this one leans a little bit more purple. And again, we have this really interesting irregular flaky shimmer in there, which I think just adds so much depth and elegance to these polishes. It just makes them feel a little bit fancier than usual. So I did 2 coats to start, but I felt like it was still a tiny bit sheer, so I ended up putting on a 3rd. And I feel like with that 3rd coat, I ended up liking the color a lot more. It gave me a lot more opacity. I feel like the color ended up being a lot more vibrant on the nails. So I'm a little torn because I don't love doing 3-coaters, especially for darker shades, but this is such a pretty color and I think it's fairly unique, so I'm probably still going to enjoy wearing it anyway. Next up we have the shade Achievement Unlocked. This is a very soft, very warm toned, almost lilac cream shade, and wow, the opacity on this one is so impressive. This was honestly almost a 1-coater on me. Now I do have short nails, but with a light shade like this, I was expecting this to be just barely 2 coats, maybe 3 coats for full coverage, and it just gave me such nice opacity, such a smooth and creamy formula. The OPI cream formula is just unbeatable. It's really good, it's really easy and workable, and it's just super beginner friendly. And last but definitely not least, we have the shade Newberry. Maybe the 2nd best name out of the whole bunch of them. And this is a very warm toned, medium to dark purple cream shade. It definitely has that little hint of like a fuchsia orchid kind of color, but it's still very intensely purple. And I think that this, with that softer lilac color that I just showed you, Achievement Unlocked, this would make the most gorgeous purple gradient. I don't know, I always love a cool toned purple, but lately I've been feeling these warmer toned purples a little bit. There's something very cool about them, which is ironic to say because they're warm. I'm gonna stop making myself laugh. This is 2 coats. perfect coverage. So here are all the shades together for comparison, and I really enjoyed this collection. I think they did a great job creating some very bright, almost summery, but still very springy cream shades, while also having these really interesting flakies and shimmers going on with the specialty finishes. And I just really enjoy this color scheme that we have going on. There's something very bright and fun about it. I feel like some of these shades I can definitely wear at the tail end of winter when it just starts to warm up. I can definitely wear these in the springtime, but I can also bring them into the summer. They still feel like very bright and fun on the nails. So overall, I'd say it's a hit. So those are the polishes, and I have to say overall, I've really enjoyed this collection. I think they had some really nice colors, really nice formulas. If you've been watching me for any length of time, you probably know that I'm not generally a huge fan of spring collections. I just think there's something about that really dusty, rosy color palette that just doesn't speak to me. But I think OPI actually did a really great job making this collection feel very springy and bright, but not using those kind of stale colors that I don't really love. Obviously, that's just personal opinion, but I'm really pleased with these colors. I feel like they'll also carry into summer really well, and I really enjoyed that cream finish, especially for those lighter colors. It was just very impressive. I also have to say, I was not expecting this collaboration. I really enjoyed the polish names. I personally love video games, but I think it's a really fun collaboration. I think overall, as a society, we have finally come to terms with the fact that gaming is for all genders, and by the way, so is nail polish, and it's just really nice to have that reaffirmed with the collaboration of these two brands, and it kind of just reinforces that message that anyone can play video games and anyone can paint their nails. So it's just really fun. So these polishes are available wherever OPI is sold. I get mine from HB Beauty Bar, which is a nail polish retailer, and there the 15 milliliter bottles retail for $9 USD each, and I also have a discount code. You can use the code KELLI to get 22% off your order there. So I will link that down in the description if anybody is interested. But I am curious to hear from you guys. What do you think of this collection? What do you think of this collaboration with Xbox? Were you expecting it, or were you as surprised as me? Let me know in the comments. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please give this one a thumbs up. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Huge shout out to my Cosmic Admirals on Patreon, Amanda M and Rocketman's daughter. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Jean, and Jean wants to know, do you have any tips or tricks for bullet journaling or doing a planner? I think my biggest tip for this, for those of you guys who don't know, bullet journaling is a hobby of mine. It's something that I do to kind of keep my life in order. Basically, it's just making your own planner, and I personally like to decorate mine and use it as kind of an artistic space as well. I think my biggest advice for this is to use the planner specifically for what you need it for. I feel like it's so easy online to see people making these like really beautiful artistic journals, and if you're not that kind of person, it doesn't really make sense to do that. I feel like there's actually a lot of people in my life that do bullet journaling and just kind of create their own version of a planner, and everybody does it differently. Some people just do task lists, and that's all that it is. There's no decoration, there's no frills, there's no tracking habits kind of thing. Other people, like myself, make it very artistic. Some people do it artistically when they want to. Some people that I know use it as a task list, but also as a journal to keep track of dreams or thoughts and feelings, that kind of stuff. So really my biggest advice is not necessarily to follow what you see people doing online, but really make it your own. If you're going to be making your own planner rather than buying one, you may as well make it exactly how you need it to be in order for it to make your life a little bit easier. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's really just for making your life a little bit more manageable and planning out your tasks and stuff a little bit easier. So yeah, that's my biggest advice. But I also want to say, if you do want to make yours a little artistic, don't be afraid to mess up, because I think it's also really fun to look back at previous journals and see how you've improved as an artist, or how you've improved, you know, in terms of decorating or handwriting, that kind of stuff. Don't worry about messing up in there, because it's only for your eyes. Nobody else is going to see it. And also have fun with it. That's my advice. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.